I'm not old.
We have Howie, who's
old.
Always here to help, and Jay, who is going to be blunt tonight and honest. Blunt, honest.
Somebody should be.
And of course, we have Boston John.
Hey,
top of every show.
He's from California, you know. That's why he's called Boston John. Yeah. That's what I've learned.
Yes.
I'm Philly J, but I'm actually from Wisconsin.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Wisconsin.
We'll just use random cities at the front of our names.
Yeah, why not?
Sense, where we don't live.
So you're from there? No.
It was well, you'll have to see the movie Vacation, the remake. I showed you a clip from it with the tartan Prancer. That reminds me of your van. That clip I showed you.
My van?
Remember that clip I showed you?
Oh, yeah.
There's another scene in there where Chevy Chase is like, hey, I got this guitar here. I got this guitar from Bob Dylan. It's like, the Bob Dylan? No, a Bob Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he got it from Jimi Hendrix. The Jimi Hendrix? No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, why?
Yeah.
If you ever do a Gear Fest show and you go out there, they're big on one of their employees' name is Michael Bolton.
Nice.
So there's this guy walking around, Michael Bolton.
Yes.
And he gets stopped constantly with like, oh my God. Well, and nobody, is dumb enough to say, are you the real Michael Bolton? But
right. Whoa. Yeah.
Courtney Cox, who is an actress from
Friends.
But also the guitar player in the Iron Maidens. She spells Courtney differently, but she took a funny photo with Michael Bolton at the last Gear Fest. Like, Finally, I find somebody else who has to put up with the same crap that I do.
Yeah.
And it's just this dorky kid in glasses like Michael Bolton.
We're all just a really unfortunate news story away from having our names synonymous with somebody we don't want our names synonymous with.
Yeah.
We're
I know
all
that
there. We're all there.
Some of us have already had to go through this.
Some of us have, yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, search my name.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Blanca who said, is Jay a gay folk artist now? Like, wait, what? No, Blanca, he's not a gay folk artist now.
So at the top of every show, folks, we do something we like to call Boston John's Record Roundup. Howie, you got music for us this week? Welcome to Boston John's Record Roundup. Thanks, Howie.
Wow, thanks, Howie.
Nice. You got a bumper and everything. Wow.
Nice. Mine's still in my Mustang, by the way. I got to pull it out. It's bench time for it.
Good work, sir.
What do you got for us this week, Boston John?
Boston John is going to take us back to 1983.
Like England Dan, kind of. By the way, he wasn't from England. He just
went
from Texas.
Yeah.
And John Ford Cawley, right? Is that your last name? No, it's close, but the spelling's way off.
Whatever happened to him? Yeah.
I pulled A&M recording artist Jeffrey Osborne for tonight.
Oh, neat.
I know this is one of Jay's favorites. He likes.
Love Jeffrey Osborne. I think tonight, Stay With Me Tonight is one of the best songs.
Stay With Me Tonight is why I bought it, but Don't You Get So Mad is on here. We're Going All the Way, which made a very nice slow song. Greatest Love Affair, Plain Love. He has writing credits on some. I thought it was very funny when I was looking at this. Don't You Get So Mad About It is co-written by Michael Cimbello from Maniac.
A cool song.
Oh, wow.
That's a cool song. I actually forgot about it. I like that song.
She gets so mad about it. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's got a lot of it's funky. It's very R&B, and you get a balance of low BPM dance, like mids, like 116, 120s. Because I got my sticker from back in the day where I wrote the BPMs on the record.
There you go.
So I think this was a good find. I don't know if I've ever played side two. Two wrongs don't make a right. I'll make believe, other side of the coin. I'm like, yeah, those are there too, but
yeah,
I don't really remember them. I have to play them again.
Yeah, the Pebbles album you have really just has Mercedes Boy, so it's like one of those things. It's like,
but he's forgotten, and I think he's one that gets overlooked. And he was with LTD, I think, prior.
Yes, he was Every Time I Turn Around, Back in Love Again.
Back in Love Again, he was. So his voice was known on the radio, so solo project made total sense.
Well, and we heard him a lot because he's a Boston boy.
Oh,
he got a lot of play on Kiss 108 because, like any town does, you take care of your own. You know, so I mean, I think that's why you would hear "Stay With Me Tonight" a lot back in the early '80s period.
Well, everybody heard it a lot. I know, and it became a staple on mom rock radio.
Okay,
Like
back then, without the internet, you didn't know what
'90s.
You didn't know how big things were out of your realm.
Sure,
really, I mean, we only had our station, so it was like, this is a big song,
right?
And, you know. You'd meet people from other places and be like, oh, you should try this. You should hear that. I mean, this is the day of fanzines. I don't know if you guys ever did a fanzine.
Yeah.
Or did like tape trading. That was huge in the metal community. I mean, that's how Metallica really broke, was they were underground, well known before they came out. So, yeah, that's a good one, John.
Thanks.
Who wants to go next?
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, what do you got, Howie?
Well, with the recent news out there, I broke this out and tried to get it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys got to listen to that one if you haven't. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't
That's a classic.
listened to the whole thing through in probably decades, you know, just cherry pick here and there, but I'm hearing it on news stories, you know, different, places around. And I was like, you know, they're just taking snippets, of course, but I was like, I haven't listened to the whole thing. I got to listen to the whole thing. And I did. And the thing that affected me a little bit emotionally was the chain. With her gone, the chain is broken. And this is what's going to happen. I mean, these people that are dying were 10, 15 years older than I.
Yeah.
That are dying. So it's going to happen again. I mean, you could almost make a Deadpool, you know.
Yeah. I will say this though. I mean, and I'm of a generation because I'm a little different than you guys when it comes to the stuff that was, really big in my formative years. Of course, I like other things, but we lost all our heroes already. They're gone. We lost Prince. We lost Michael Jackson. What do we got left? We got Madonna,
She looks terrible these days.
The baby boomer generation, you got most of yours. You got most of the Stones. You got 2 Beatles left. You still have people, but ours are gone. George Michael's gone. I mean, geez, man. Yeah. Those are the
you have lost quite a few.
We've lost a lot. Yeah.
At a young age, too. Really.
And what's amazing about a lot of, and Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, of course. I named my daughter after Stevie Nicks. But
wow,
it's amazing that they're still doing things. Most of the artists are still, Paul McCartney's active, Stones are active.
The Who are on tour right now.
Yeah, it's
only 2 left, but they're still on tour.
I just saw Judas Priest do a set on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean,
they're on tour
doing stuff. Yeah. So I think the generation's fared really well in that regard.
Yeah, that's certainly a good point. I would agree with that.
The album, though, first 8-track I ever bought was that Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I know every song like the back of my hand. And
that was the freshman year in high school Christmas gift from my parents. Was Rumors, and I can't remember the other album. Oh, Jefferson Starship, the one that had Jane on it.
What year were you a freshman in high school? 80?
78.
Jane didn't come out until later.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't think. I thought Jane came out like 80.
Was it 80? Maybe.
Oh, wow.
I think Jane, because they were a Starship then.
Yeah.
They were even Jefferson. Like, what do you got for Jefferson Starship album? You got Red Octopus.
Yeah.
Spitfire. What was the other one? The one that had the shiny stuff on it. And it has, I didn't count on me on that one.
I didn't care for any of the.
Oh, I love Jefferson Starship. Love it. What was his name? Marty Blaine?
Marty Ballin. Marty Ballin.
Ballin? There you go.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
He had an incredible voice.
He was with him with Jefferson Airplane all the way through.
Count on Me, Miracles, With Your Love. Those to me are
Miracles is such an underrated track.
Well, yeah, that's a great one.
I love that track. And they introduced the the electric flute and all that stuff. They had that flutist who was with them. He was really good.
Yeah.
I don't like the album versions of those songs, but I like the radio edits of those songs. but I love those songs. I like them better than anything Jefferson Airplane did, and I like them better than anything Starship did. Those are my jams anyway. I dig.
Well, we have to split. We have to split the middle on this one because it came out in '79.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that must have been, maybe that was Christmas of '79 or something.
Well, there were a lot of iterations of that band. Like the Jefferson Airplane fans were hippies in the '60s, and they liked White Rabbit, and they liked Somebody to Love. The stuff that was coming out in the '80s, you wouldn't even think it was the same band.
It feels very different.
Such a different sound.
Yorma Conan and Cassidy left.
Jack Cassidy.
They formed Hot Tuna.
Hot Tuna.
And acoustic Hot Tuna and electric Hot Tuna. They had they had 3 different iterations of the spinoff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I met him at a Guitar Center one time. We were doing a Pioneer event, and he was up in the Guitar Center on Pico in LA and just hanging out in a army fatigue jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who he was. He was buying something, and I just was over and I said, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Cassidy, when you're done, could I get a photo with you?" He's like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You know who I am?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. So we had,
I'm asking.
we had a white CDJ, plastic CDJ. We were doing an art mix, and we were having all the artists sign them. I said, "Actually, it'd be an honor if you'd be the first one to sign this for us." He's like, "Sure." He wrote it to Pioneer, thanks or something, Jack Cassidy.
That's cool.
He was cool. Yeah, totally cool.
So, Jay, what do you have for us this week?
Mine was a tie between 2 albums. So I'm going to go, since John went with a Boston artist, I'm going to pick the Boston album that I was going to go with. And it's hard to describe this album. The album is called 3 Sides to Every Story. The band is Extreme.
Extreme. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's
your side, and the truth. Yeah.
It's I would dare say it's hard rock, almost metal, but it's so funky. Every track has a funk aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like music with a lot of melody in it, they're constantly shifting gears between bridges and verses and choruses, the melodies of it. And Nuno Bettencourt is just an underrated guitar player on every level.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's, for the last 15 or 10 years or whatever, been playing with Rihanna still kind of blows my mind. But Gary Sharon's voice sounds great. The rhythm section is great. Color Me Blind is a big track. Yeah, let's not do that. Cupid's Dead is a great track.
Yeah. They have such a unique sound too. So much bounce. There's stuff like that funk that just carries through. You can dance to a rock band. It's danceable rock.
Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a track called Peacemakers Die, and it reminds me a lot of, and they probably got an influence from Living Colour, of Cult of Personality, because Peacemakers Die has clips from Martin Luther King.
Mm.
And it's very in that same vein as the
church
Living Colour did.
Living Colour, Cult of Personality.
Ask not what your country can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Those little sound bites.
Yeah, it's just got that kind of soundbite vibe at the end, and it gets a little chill, and then it comes back and gets kind of crazy.
Right.
But it's a really, really good album. It's one of those albums that I find I listen to it through when I put it on, more than just here are the 2 tracks I want to hear. So it's got potential for people that may want to try something a little different than what they're accustomed to. I would say to somebody, go listen to either Peacemakers Die or Color Me Blind as your first taste of the album before you purchase. And I think if you like those tracks, you'll like the rest of it.
Thank you. I will admit that I didn't have a choice picked in my head. I had no idea what I was going to talk about.
Yep.
So I'm going to riff it. And I came up with it while you were talking. One that I don't think we've ever really mentioned before as an album that I think is a fantastic album is George Michael's Faith. That is a really, really good album.
Good choice.
We haven't done Faith?
Not as an album choice, no.
Oh, okay. That's a great album.
We've talked about it. I've talked about how it's won it won the R&B record of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that caused the backlash and kind of, so no, R&B is a black art and how dare you put a white guy there. But anyway, it's a really good album.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Did Did anyone remind anybody that was pissed off how Elton John had like headed the R&B charts back in the 70s with like Benny and the Jets?
And
Yeah. Along with, I'm sure, tons of other people we could name.
It doesn't matter.
It's stupid.
But I will say that it's one of those albums I can listen to from back to front. There's very few songs that I don't want to hear on that album.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are hits. There's a couple that didn't do anything, but you'll have that. And the album even has some cool remixes built into it. So there's a Shep Pettibone remix of Hard Day that is amazing. And usually what happens is today, for instance, you'll hear a song that you like, and it'll be a remix, and you won't know it's a remix. Back in the day, we used to buy the album and find out, this isn't the version I liked. I like the remix version. We had both of them on the album, and that was really cool. The radio edit that really didn't do much, but the Shep Pettibone remix of it got airplay, and it was really, really good, kind of funky, sexy track. Fantastic album.
Was that right from the jump? The remix was on it, or was it like a reissue, re-release?
Right from the jump.
Okay.
Right from the jump. I think it's second to last track on side 2, I believe, but it's really, 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 really good. Faith is a nice song. I Want Your Sex is iconic.
I liked Kissing a Fool and One More Try.
The other one was I thought that's Father Figure was the other ballad.
Father Figure was
like
really
4 ballads on the album. No, 5, because he's got it's an I Want Your Sex reprise kind of thing, and it's called
The Last Request.
Last Request, yeah. Sleep With Me Tonight. I mean, there's several ballads on it, but there's some cool stuff.
I thought Kissing a Fool showed off that he had a really amazing dynamic to his voice.
Yeah,
nobody was doing that swingy jazz big, like you could give that song, if you could go back in time and give it to Billie Holiday.
Yeah, you could.
Or Sarah or Ella.
Yeah.
And it's funny, if I ever met and got to meet her, I think I would say to like a Diana Krall, you should really try to do Kissing a Fool by George Michael, because I think your voice over it would sound amazing.
It's a well crafted song.
Yeah, it really is.
It is. And it's kind of got that Torch song feel to it. It's nice. Yeah. Good album, though. Good album.
Plus, correct me if I'm wrong in this, he wrote lyrics to his music, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a writer.
You ever seen the video for Praying for Time? The lyrics?
Yeah, the lyric video. That's the only video there is.
That's what I mean. So you see all the lyrics. Guy could write.
Oh, yeah.
Guy could write.
Well, you know, the story with Andrew Wrigley, right? With Wham. He was leaving the band, and he knew he was going to leave the band. And Andrew knew he was going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
George had written everything. So as a parting gift to Andrew, he put him down as a co-writer on Careless Whisper. Mm-hmm. And Andrew has lived on that money. Lived on that money for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's listed as and now he's getting all the dough for that one.
Sure.
So that was hey, look, I know I'm leaving. This is going to be tough on you, but I'm going to give you this writing credit, and you should be set for life. And sure, back then you could do that. And
right.
Who was it? Was it you, John? We were talking about this today, or somebody else, about how different it's become, and how I was talking to somebody at the show. You know, people now releasing music, capturing the royalty money for it is near impossible because of the streaming services. But there are guys that have had a career off one song.
Yeah.
Like they're getting royalties today.
That was us.
Well, yeah, it was you.
We mentioned Don McLean.
Don McLean
that song said, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Well, and
he got interviewed and they said, "What's the meaning of that song?" He says, "It means I don't have to work for the rest of my life."
Yeah, I'm done.
And that was the end of the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know if any of you saw this. Rolling Stone just put out, and I haven't read them all, but they put out the 50 most embarrassing moments in rock and roll history.
Okay.
Oh, we'll have to look this up.
Yeah. And one of them is Billy Squier doing the Not Lonely Tonight. No, he did a video.
I kind of love it. Oh, Everybody Wants You.
Where he's rolling around in the bed.
It's Rock Me
Tonight. You're right.
Rock Me Tonight.
God awful video.
Rock Me Tonight.
And they're like, and somebody, and they're like, oh, this is what ruined his career, this and that. And it's like, I read somewhere that Billy Squier is the biggest most sampled artist in hip hop of any pop artist.
Yeah, he's got a lot of them.
Yeah, like Jay-Z has sampled him, Kanye sampled him, like everyone has
Master
sampled.
Jay used that big beat. That was his.
Yeah,
you know.
he's sampled
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and
the
the other
big
thing
beat.
is Billy Squier wrote all his lyrics and all the music. So apparently Billy's living in a mansion in Long Island right now because he didn't kiss his money away.
Right.
And he's got all his publishing. So he's still getting stuff. And we were talking about Eddie Trunk from Trunk Nation said that he still gets mail money, meaning he gets checks in the mail from all these samples and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never ending. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got to look at the whole list. And some of them that I heard did make sense. Like that was embarrassing. And others were like, yeah, that wasn't a big deal. Like one of the most embarrassing moments in rock history is when Prince went to the, that sign instead of his name when he wanted to get out of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, he did that so that he could get out of that contract.
Exactly. Yeah. And it, they're just saying overall, like this moment was embarrassing when
It was just in protest.
No.
Yeah.
I realize it, but it's again, some of these you look at as, was that really embarrassing? That, I can't remember whose sister she is, but that blonde girl that got busted lip syncing on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a very embarrassing
Totally
moment.
forgotten.
In
I can't
music
remember.
history. No,
Right.
Ashley Simpson. I don't know why it just came to me.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, that, I've got to look this up.
Started doing that little jig like she was from, country western. And it was just like, oh my God.
That was her, my career's over dance.
But I understand that being an embarrassing moment, but how is Prince's symbol an embarrassing moment? I don't get that.
I kind of didn't get that either. So, but I think it's, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Well, they said he changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol. That was the thing. Well, at the time, my brother-in-law at the time was working for Prince, and he took great pride in showing me his paycheck was signed by Prince Rogers Nelson. Like he was still signing his name that. So he was using his real name. His bank account still said Prince Rogers Nelson on him.
Yep.
So he didn't really change his name to that.
Okay.
That was all like, what? No, can't be. But it was a protest and it worked. And writing Slave on the Face and all that album right there, Emancipation, is for when he got out of the contract. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think what was one of them that this would be an embarrassing moment. The band Creedence Clearwater Revival more or less wanted John Fogerty out of the band because they felt that he was getting all the royalties because he wrote all the music. So the band wanted writing credits and wanted to write music. So they wrote the majority of things on an album called Mardi Gras that John Landau came out and said, this is the worst album in the history of music. John Landau is the same writer that was in Harvard Square in like 73, 74, and said, I've seen the future of rock and roll, and his name is Bruce Springsteen. And what most people don't know is shortly thereafter, Bruce and John became friends.
Yeah, they're like good pals. Yeah.
Well, one better. John Landau has been Bruce Springsteen's manager since like 1975. So he's just collecting his paychecks too. I mean, he's doing work, but he's been Bruce Springsteen's manager. And Howard Stern asked him, like, how did you know he'd be a good manager? He's like, well, I could trust him. He goes, I figured the business stuff he could learn, but you can't learn to be trusted.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I saw the interview too. It was very
good.
Oh,
you did?
Yeah. It's very good. It's not only on the SiriusXM app, but you can also watch it on HBO.
Yeah, HBO had it right after
HBO is running it as well, which is kind of neat. But yeah, I did see that. I had something I wanted to throw out there. I have a song of the week I want to put out there this week.
Okay.
It's I'm going to guess it's going to be relevant by the time this show is published, but I wanted to throw it out to all you mobile DJs. I have a party that I'm doing this Saturday, and I'll talk more about that one in a minute. But yeah.
Racing.
Look. So anyway, song of the week. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Something that you all need to download and have just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. The Cramps with Goo Goo Muck.
I think I have that.
Okay.
Wow.
You know why you need it?
No, but I'm pretty sure I have it because I have a bunch of Cramps tracks.
Yeah.
I like Garbage Man. That's one I always go to.
Well, you're going to need Goo Goo Muck.
And I am because...
Howie knows why.
Go ahead, tell it.
No, tell it, Howie.
No, go ahead.
He doesn't know. He's full of shit.
No, it was on it's on social media or one of the things, and all of a sudden the cramps are everywhere.
Well, the reason
it's
everywhere.
TikTok?
Well, no, that's the weird part, and I'll get to that in a minute. So you all have at least heard of the new Netflix series Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
That's where it was.
She does the dance to the Cramps Goo Goo Muck, and everybody's going crazy about the dance.
Yeah.
So have that song. The weird
it's going to be
part
another Kate Bush Stranger Things, you think?
Yeah. But here's the weird part. Here's the weirdo part. So you got to be duly prepared. I have a second song of the week that you need to have. And that is Lady Gaga's Bloody Mary. Because apparently, although the Cramps Goo Goo Muck is the song in the film or in the Netflix series, TikTok has decided the dance needs to be to Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga.
Okay.
So if you can have those two songs, Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps and Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga, you're going to be prepared just in case this becomes a thing. I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it does, you're ready to go.
Well, thank goodness for that, because I thought you were going to say, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
No.
Well, I don't think you guys aren't on TikTok, are you? I am.
No,
I've put up a couple videos, but I don't get it. Kind of like I didn't get Twitter and I didn't get Instagram. So.
I've become like the TikTok joke, and the joke is you've got a good man. And like, there's a TikTok I sent to Michelle the other night that's like, your marriage is stable when you sit on the couch next to your husband and you send each other TikToks without speaking. It's like, yes, that's exactly the truth. Because that's what you do. You get on TikTok and go, oh, she'd love this one. Or, oh, here's a great dinner idea. Or, oh, here's another cute Staffy puppy. Or, whatever. And I told you guys when I did, Howie, you were there. I think it was the Cascade and Dead Mouse.
Yes.
Promo only. Mm-hmm. Chris Cox was there. And they said like, oh, Chris, you're doing a lot of remixes.
Yeah.
Well, when was that? When did we do that taping? Like 5-6 months ago? Sometime in the summer?
Sometime in the summer it was, yeah.
And Chris said, no, labels are putting all their money into
TikTok. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, a year ago on TikTok, you could pick between like 8 songs. Now it's thousands. And there are artists.
Why they're doing the dance to Bloody Mary Lady Gaga.
Yeah, there are artists that are manipulating the system. And writing songs and premiering them on TikTok and getting enough feedback that they're now performing. There's the guy that's got a song, Golden Hour. I think his name is Jake, but it's spelled like JVKE or something.
Not Golden Shower.
No, Golden Hour.
Golden Hour. Okay.
Golden Hour.
Oh, that's something different.
That's the adult TikTok has the Golden Shower.
Yeah. I don't know. Mine seems pretty adult. Every time that I open TikTok, because I've done
just mattress actresses.
I've done some videos, like about DJing and stuff, and then every time I open TikTok, it's some big girl shaking her butt at me.
Well,
every time, or somebody acting like they're saying something, like in fast forward, but they're not really saying anything.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's weird. And it's all based on the algorithm. And eventually China will take over the US based solely on my TikTok account, I'm sure. But
anyway.
I apologize now.
Yeah.
But
you're right, Brian, I don't have TikTok
your information.
And that showed up. It was on another platform, but the TikTok video was on something else. And it was someone doing the step-by-step recreation of that Wednesday dance to that song. And I don't even have it, and I'm aware of it. You know what I mean?
The one where the actor comes out and they say, have you ever rapped on film? And he goes, once. And the girl goes in the interview, do you remember it? And he goes, yes, my money don't jiggle, it folds. That whole thing is like maybe 12 or 13 seconds long. I had 2 weddings where the wedding parties came out, stopped, and then had me play that 12-second soundbite, and they did the dance. It's 12 seconds long. That was cute. But I don't think with the turnover rate on TikTok and other social media, that these songs have any staying power.
No, that's
the downside. The shelf life is super short.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that you only probably need about 17 of those to get through one of your events.
I did that party last March, and it was a 15-year sobriety. The guy was in his late 30s, and the girlfriend who planned the party said he's a big fan of TikTok, and I bet you she gave me 30 songs from TikTok.
Right.
It all had a TikTok relevance, and then I added to it, and I probably did a good solid 2 hours of just music that an outsider would hear and go, "Oh, he's playing a song," but the guy kept turning around, going like, "Yeah." Because it was a video song. Oh. Well, I played one for John today. Ozzy Osbourne. Was it I Don't Know?
Yeah, Donna Summer and...
with Donna Summer, Hot Stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I'll play it after the show because we'll get flagged. Yep. But you'd be surprised. Like, you can hear the stretch in the vocal. But as a track, I played it for Marco from Bose. He's like, dude, I got to get that. I'd play that at a gig in a heartbeat. It's a lot to take in, but it does sound good. It was done like very Cumberbound, or Cumberbatch, whoever that DJ is.
Yeah.
DJ Cumberband.
McClintosh or something is the other one that does a bunch that are things that shouldn't go together, but work.
But they do. I've played probably 7 or 8 weddings where I've done the Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train vocal over Earth, Wind and Fire September. Because you get the guy that wants some metal at the wedding and you play that version. And I got a full dance floor and people are like flipping out. Like, I mean, everybody's different when it comes to the way they ingest music. And I think younger people now, the mashup isn't a foreign concept.
Yeah.
But moving forward now, as you guys know, Serato now announced it has stems. Virtual has had stems. Every other software will eventually have stems. This is either going to be a new creative plateau for DJs or the death knell. Because you're going to get guys going, I can make this work. And push a button. It goes south.
My advice for the week for any of you who are mashing up music, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
You should.
Yeah.
So, some things aren't meant to be together. Yeah. That's very true.
Does it sonically, like, can you put it together? Yes, you can. Should you put it together?
Well, I think I told you, Brian, Michelle will ask me at home. I did a party for her work, 1997, 98, 99, somewhere in there. And I had the hot hits or hot tracks.
Those. Hot hits.
Yeah. And it had a medley, a rock medley that was about 12 minutes long. That started with like Back in Black and worked its way up to like Nirvana and Metallica and Bon Jovi and Rush. And they were all like a 30-second clip of songs.
Yeah.
She still
Jam. Yeah.
Still to this day is like, loved it. And I found it and played it. She's like, oh, you should play this at every event. I can't argue that she's wrong because she's a customer. She's a person that attends events. Yeah. And her ears liked it. And I remember when I did play it, people were really digging it. And I was like, I've also gotten burned. I think I told you famously, at the beginning of my career, I played a Ultimix Michael Jackson medley. And I had like 3 women in my face afterwards. Like, why didn't you play all of Bad? I love that song. You played just a little bit of it. You should play the whole thing. And I'm like,
you never know.
And I never again played an artist medley because I realized if people really like a song, 30 seconds isn't enough.
No, they want the whole song. Can we trace that back?
Whole song.
Can we trace that back further than Stars on 45? Do you remember that when that was happening?
I love their Beatles medley the
Beatles medley was dope. There's an album medley they have that's pretty good too, but again,
the Beatles one is just a personal favorite. I like
it's just enough of each song to give you that and get through that period of the early 60s and and there's a touch on a few, I
think it's
did you guys all play Jive Bunny?
And Jive,
I got some of that stuff.
In the Mood? Here. Oh hell yeah.
That's Master Mix. They're still doing stuff. I know the guy there. Or the son of the guy there. The one that
new versions of stuff?
Huh?
Are they doing new tracks in that style?
Yeah, all the time. Master Mix is like huge. It's like a big remix service over in the UK for DJs. Okay. Jive Bunny was just something they did. But like on a lot of their releases, they'll still have like the bunny on it. Like that's kind of their mascot.
Right.
But they do but they do like modern stuff. And I've got some of their records back here. What are they? I forget what they're called. I could pull them and show you. But yeah, you can still get master mix volumes, for DJs. They come out all the time.
Oh,
I
okay.
have some of them. They're pretty good. They've been going ever since. I was going to mention that I don't know how many of you remember DJ Tools.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's an Elvis medley on there.
Yes.
That's really good. And I haven't used it in a few years, but if someone wants Elvis, I can just knock out a whole bunch of Elvis in about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that working.
It starts with Jailhouse Rock and it ends with Suspicious Minds.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, let me be your teddy bear. I think it's stupid to have in there, but
Yeah.
it works well. We talked about this. I don't know when it was, but we were talking about the Grease Mega Mix Bobby D did for Jock Jams.
Right.
And how some people like it. I don't, because I think Grease Lightning is a song I'd never play. Like, just put on. And I think I timed it one time and it was around the 4-minute mark that so it's, what is it? Summer Nights, Grease Lightning, and You're the One That I Want is essentially what that Grease Mega Mix is.
Yeah.
I get more mileage out of doing Summer Nights and You're the One That I Want than I do the Mega Mix.
Mhm.
Personally, I get people are more theatrical about it and such. So I never play that Mega Mix, but some people really like it. I just think Grease Lightning's a throwaway song. I mean, it was a fun song in the movie, but
Yeah.
I don't dance to it. They get like that
track.
whole like thing, and this.
You're right.
There's a move.
You're
that they
right.
Yeah.
do,
There's a move. I think
You're
that's
right.
dated. There's an age group of people, especially, the female Grease fan from that period,
Yeah.
that's going to really fire them up. And what I've done is played the Mega Mix, but then continued into Grease by just extending out the last track, the one that I want.
Yeah.
Just try to mix it
That's the
over it a
big
little
one,
bit.
really.
Yeah. Because that's one they usually want. And then the Mega Mix just fell in off Jock Jams.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it got some traction. I think it even charted.
Yeah, it probably did.
Not a good song though, but you're right. It's kind of dated. There's a whole demographic that isn't really thinking about that anymore. It's probably the same demographic that really wants to hear something other than Soul Man by the Blues Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Rubber
God, back in the day,
Biscuit,
Rubber Biscuit and what was the other one?
Well, the one I do, because
Sweet Home Chicago's still big
that's
because
the tough
Chicago's
one.
down the road.
Right, but it's also 7.5 minutes long, and you got to really figure out your cut. Like, because there's always something going on. Like, you get swing dancers, and I more or less play that till it looks like they're done.
Yeah.
And it's like either it's before or after the sax solo, but you're still playing a good 4 minutes worth, maybe 5 minutes sometimes, and then get out of Dodge. I mean, it's no Paradise. I know your favorite song, John, Brian. Paradise by Dashboard Light.
Oh my God.
Weighing it like 8 minutes and 39 seconds or something.
Yeah. The bathroom break. So
That is a bathroom.
and just step
Rappers
back.
are like 15 minutes.
I used to smoke. I used to literally put it on and like step outside, smoke a cigarette, come back in. They're still going. Now they're the guys on one side, the girls on the other. I'm like, has he rounded the bases yet? Is Phil Rizzuto said anything? Because once Phil speaks, now I got to be somewhat near the controls.
Must be in the front row.
Yeah.
well, he was outraged after he
He didn't like that?
didn't like it. He didn't like the final cut.
I was going to say they had to get
They kind of
permission.
misled him, and he was, I guess, a man of faith of sorts. And the fact that they were having
Promiscuous song.
premarital
Yes.
relations, he
Right.
was like, "Oh my gosh, you take me out!" And they were like, "No, you signed off on it."
Yeah. Too late now, kid.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done. Sorry. All that good work washed down.
But you'll be in good company.
One time, you and Meatloaf can argue about it later.
Yeah.
It still trips me out that Scott Ian of Anthrax is married to Pearl, his daughter. So Meatloaf was Scott Ian's father-in-law. Like, and they have a band. It's actually a really good rock band with Pearl singing. She's got a good voice because she did a lot of backing stuff for her dad.
Well, we have a local band around here that's pretty big. They work all the time, called Cece Coletti. And she was a backup singer for Meatloaf. And long blonde hair, really, cute and she's done well for herself, you know.
The first big singer, was it Karen DeVito?
Yes.
She ended, I think she at one time was married to the guy from On Golden Pond, Ricky Benson.
I was going to say, not Henry Fonda.
Not Henry Fonda.
No.
That'd have been weird.
No.
The cruise chicks fuck face.
I think Ricky Benson or something. He was the kid that was like
Robbie Benson.
Robbie Benson. Thank you, Robbie Benson.
Who looks exactly like Chuck Green from the ADJ group of companies.
Yeah, he does.
So,
guys, go ahead.
I know. I'm sorry. I had Stevie has texted me with a plumbing emergency.
Oh,
so if you guys could go ahead and just wrap this show. I mean, you got another 15 minutes. You can go.
We hope you come back around.
Can you handle it without me?
Yeah. We wanted to hear the rest of your Saturday thing, but we can do that on the next go around or tape again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we can wrap it if you want.
Oh well, no, you can keep going. I just want to address it.
Go handle it.
I'm like a good dad.
Yeah, go handle it. And if it's done,
the long and the short of this Saturday, just so you know, we'll talk about it next week too. There's a friend of mine, okay, and I'll be vague about this, who is having some personal problems right now and needed me to take this job for him, right? But it's super low dollar, okay? But
it always is.
I did bump them, and I'm not going to walk away in the red, but I'm not getting what I wanted to get. I was going to ask you guys about some song choices, but Jay, maybe I'll call you on that later on this week.
Yeah, that's fine. I hope
it's a 16-year-old birthday party, and they want a lot of Foo Fighters, and I'm lost.
Go, I got you.
A good Foo Fighters song if you put a gun to my head.
Well, that's tragic because they have a lot of good songs.
Well, yeah. They should. I like Dave Grohl, and I've said that before. I don't get it.
Get some Tame Impala and some Chevelle too, or something.
Well, they want hip hop as well, so there's just a couple little.
But I'm saying if you're only
there for 3 hours, and I don't want to. So, but anyway,
I'll handle the problem.
You're in good hands with these guys.
There goes my hero. That's what she's going to say.
That's one of the songs.
And that's a Foo Fighters song you're going to
make. Just so you can.
And if I call her,
don't be a pretender.
If I call her and this is not an emergency, I'll be back. But otherwise, I'll see you guys later.
At least you're not being a pretender.
There goes my hero.
Yep. What I was going to say, have you guys ever seen the video for I Won't Do That?
Yes.
Okay. There's a woman in it who is exceptionally gorgeous. I mean, the kind of gorgeous that a man or woman would see her face and go, holy God, she's gorgeous. So in the video, she's lip syncing in a bathtub to the female singer's part. After the video was released, her management received something like 6 or 7 like legitimate music contract offers.
Oh, thinking she was singing, but
thinking she was the singer.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. This is a little bit of the CC and the Music Factory kind of thing, where it's like, oh, that's the girl. No, that's not the girl.
No.
Girl's Dinah Wash. She's over there, not in the video.
Well,
but it reminded me of that when we were
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, if you go back to the video, you'll see what I mean.
Is that end of my career dance again? Yeah.
But she goes, it was so funny. I had to keep telling people that wasn't me singing, and companies were coming in with full on record deals. Like, we want to sign her. She's not a singer.
Crazy.
She's a model.
That's crazy.
But this is the difference between then and now, where you didn't have the internet to look. Who's that girl? Sally Smith. Let me look her up. Sally Smith. Oh, wow. American model. Okay. Actress. Doesn't say anything about singing. Well, let me look up the Meatloaf song. Oh, background vocals aren't Sally Smith. They're like Janet Jones. Oh, okay. Like, that's what we take for granted. We can take our phones out and do that, or our computers. This was the day when, like, what you saw, you thought you got, and it just shows how much, even today, I walked into the Harvest of Sound show and I put my phone on auto Shazam. It's a bunch of DJs who are trying to impress other DJs. They may come up with some track that I'm like, don't got it, don't have it. And I don't know about you guys, but not a day goes by that I don't Shazam something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've got 2,500 Shazam hits on my phone. the only challenge becomes then picking a day of the week to go back to your phone and literally go back and listen and go, it's not hitting the same way it did after the 10th White Claw the other night. You know, it's like,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if you find it, you delete it. If you decide you don't like it,
came up. It says Swingin' J. Brannan, Temecula.
There you go.
I Shazammed you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and what's funny is now I found this works well too. You go in and you auto Shazam social media. So you put your phone on auto Shazam, then you go to Instagram stories or reels or TikTok or whatever. And all of a sudden you notice on the top of your phone, you keep getting hits of like, it's just listening to what you're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So again, I think, you know, Brian's got a 16th birthday party and I've got one coming up. And, you know, 10, 12, 15 years ago, I just go to my kids and be like, hey, you're around this age. Is this a good song? Is this a good song? And then you'd go on Facebook and go, hey, DJs, what are you playing in your area? But a lot of it is, like Brian said about the, is it Goo Goo Muck?
Yeah.
The Cramps
right?
track?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is, and I hate to say it because the Cramps are a good example. Lux Interior, I believe, is dead. Poison Ivy, I believe, is dead. So I don't think they're even in a band as we know them any longer. I think the lead singer and his wife or ex-wife, Poison Ivy, the guitarist, they're gone. Brian Gregory, the other guitar player, he's either not working or working somewhere else. So I think record labels, well, I think this is the tragedy of music. They're going to start hitting bands that either are public domained or pretty much don't have much going on in the way of back catalog.
Somebody still owes the rights, but you know,
well, they do.
Now
but
there's not as much to pay because it's kind of a.
But that's my point. You know, exactly. Right. And what they can do is call the heir of Lux Interior and say, "Hey, we want to put this song in this TV show. We'll give you $30,000." And they go, oh, "Yeah," and then they sign the rights over.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right, but you wouldn't get a good song cheap.
No, you're not going to get Born in the USA by.
You're not going to get Children of the Revolution by the Violent Femmes for $30,000 because they know what they got.
They know what it's worth, and this is that thing about music and its value. If you're playing with people that don't know the value of it, I mean, when Prince died, that was the big thing: his estate was worth X amount of money based on music, and it was going to go to like a stepsister and a brother. And are they going to make the right decisions? And these things are famous. The Hendrix family is still going in and out of court over the estate. The guy died 40, 50 years ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you don't know what something is worth, like you're going to make $1 a play from Netflix, it's very easy for Netflix to come in and go, we're going to fly you in a private jet to sign this contract for $50,000 and we're good to go. And if you ask anybody, hey, I can't make my bills, but Netflix will give me $50,000. You really think they're going to gamble?
It seems like a good deal upphand money, but it may long term pay out way more than
who knows?
Triple.
They said Kate Bush made millions off Stranger Things because she owns her catalog. She owns all of the publishing, all of the music rights.
Right.
It's all in her pocket because she wasn't relevant anymore. So nobody's going to fight her on it. She owns it all. And there was an article I read that said, the Stranger Things phenomenon put millions in her pocket, which I find hard to believe.
Sign the rights away. She
has all of it.
The usage of it for that particular,
Right. Even if the streams and the downloads aren't paying.
You know, they didn't give them the whole thing. The ending was like, no, just this use there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I've told you guys, Led Zeppelin, you can hear rock and roll played in a pizza parlor for like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And the total price for that 12 seconds between DVD, perpetuity, mechanical rights, publishing rights, worked out that Led Zeppelin more or less made $250,000 off that. When the dust cleared, they got about $250,000 for 12 seconds of a song.
Yeah. When it first started, it was 70,000 and then, you know, residuals. And now,
But then it was DVD. Oh, you're going to make DVDs? How many DVDs? And are they going to have this scene in them?
Right.
Yes. Okay. So if you print 1 million DVDs, we want a cut of those 1 million DVDs. So then they had the in perpetuity contract, which said, we have the right to use this at our discretion only in the scene for this time, yada, yada. And they even said, David Chase said in the beginning, he would have 3 or 4 songs for every scene because it was based on who can we get. And they ended up having a relationship with, like, Bob Dylan was a fan. Bob Dylan does a Christmas song that he hadn't released for The Sopranos because they put out a CD of Sopranos music that won, I think it won an Emmy. And they said in the beginning they struggled to get artists to sign off because the show was new. But once the show got popular, he's like, normally it would take 2 to 3 months to get rights because you contact the agent, the manager, and blah, blah. He goes, by the last season of Sopranos, we had bands coming to us, big bands, Fleetwood Mac bands, coming to us with, we'd love, you want to use this? You want to use this? Because they saw the eyes on the prize. And they said when they ended with Journey, Steve Perry famously said, I've seen the last episode because he's the writer of the song with Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain. So they needed all 3 of them to sign off. And Steve Perry said, I need to see the script for the final episode. I need to see how it ends. I need to see what the context is of the song. Because I don't want to have some guy's head get blown off while the song's playing.
Right. On that tanks the future of our song. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, he had the right to do that. David Chase, he famously says he saw the episode before it aired. David Chase, in an interview with Steve Sciarippa and Michael Imperioli, said absolutely 100% no. He never saw the episode. We told him the context. We told him the scene, but he never physically watched the episode. So if that's his story, he's lying. And I tend to believe David Chase because he wrote the damn thing. He produced the damn thing. He created it. By the way, those of you into TV, check out our boy, Sly Stallone in Tulsa Kings.
Oh, that I've seen. Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, if you want to know why it's a good show, it's from the creators of Yellowstone.
Yes.
And the head writer is the head writer from The Sopranos.
Yes. And they have some awesome music in that too.
Oh, they do. Well. And if you want to go, I got stuck in I'm not a big binge guy on TV. And I got stuck in a show called Lilyhammer. You ever heard of that?
No.
Lilyhammer was the show that Stephen Van Zandt did after The Sopranos ended. It's a gangster who relocates from New York City after turning rat to Lilyhammer.
Okay.
Site of the former Olympics in Norway.
Oh, okay.
And he is 100% Silvio from The Sopranos. The same wig, the suit, but now he's in a country where probably 3/4 of the TV show dialect is in Norwegian. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen. It's very dark. There's some dark Sopranos moments, but it's funny because you just see him being Silvio, and everyone's speaking Norwegian. He's like, yeah, all right, maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
Lori says in the chat, she said that's an awesome series, hilarious.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't want to spoil it. I want to tell you about a scene, but I don't want to give a spoiler alert kind of thing to it. But
well, you can't because we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
Oh,
sound like Claxton. No spoilers.
Well, yeah, no. Just trust me. It's only 3 seasons long, and each season has maybe 7 or 8 episodes. But when I tell you watch it till the very end, just trust me. You will thank me that you watched all the way to the last episode, because there's other characters that come into it that have never done stuff on TV before. And you'll know them when you see them and be like, holy that's him? Yeah.
Very good. All right, might be something. We get the winter months coming up. Eventually, it will start to be cold here in Boston, Jay.
Eventually, yes.
And we'll
warm like you don't even know here. I'm shocked.
Crazy warm today.
I got out of my car with the jacket on. I started sweating halfway to the show. I'm like, I didn't bring this jacket to sweat in. Literally, this thin, cheapy flannel and a t-shirt was more than enough to wear in Boston today. It was 52 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like a spring day, or as we call it, shorts and t-shirt weather.
Yeah. No, it's been absolutely beautiful weather out here. It rained a lot tonight, but outside of that, no, it's been great weather. Nice and warm. So, well, are we going to wrap then?
Yeah. What?
Okay. Well, as, in lieu of it, seems like Mr. S. Red won't be joining us for the remainder. So we wish him plumbing well.
Yes.
Yes.
He's going to be taking care of the pipes, whatever that means. Pipes of
the pipes.
Donegal.
The pipes are calling.
The pipes are calling down in Donegal. Yes, they are. Well, so I'll give for Mr. Brian S. Red, of course, Howie Darkstar, and Boston John. I'm Jay, and we will see you next week. Same time, same channel. And whenever this airs, if you got any comments, things you want to know, put them down in the comments, and we'll definitely get back to you. So till next time, stay well, stay safe, keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.